Today in class, we're going to go over 9.ATOD.1.5 content. The only content we really have to go over are these few paragraphs of information because your assignment is going to be picking a stance and writing an essay about that. So I'm going to I don't usually do this, but I'm going to actually read through this content so that you understand and know if you watch this video, I know that you have actually read it or listened to it with me. So please follow along as I read it. When a person abuses alcohol, tobacco, and other drugs, he or she creates a ripple effect that reaches those close to him or her, in those in the community and beyond. Although costs of the individual user are critical focus of substance abuse prevention, the effects on others cannot be avoided or dismissed. Unintentional injuries associated with alcohol and other drug use affect innocent victims in numerous ways by motor vehicle crashes, acts of violence, the cost to everyone who purchases an automobile and or health insurance policies, the cost of healthcare facilities, employers that suffer productivity losses, families that must repair physical and emotional damage caused by the user. Communities as a whole must spend a considerable amount of time and effort, which can be quite costly. On a much larger scale, society as a whole suffers from the use of illegal substances by its citizens. Global increases in the problems of illicit drug both reflect and contribute to the political and international tensions. In essence, illicit drug use is not just a personal problem. And all individuals and groups are affected by substance abuse. Data shows us that substance abuse increases accidents, premature deaths, healthcare costs, insurance costs, and is responsible for countless hours of loss of work hours. Substance abuse is also associated with increases in robbery, murder, and assault, which in turn lead to increased costs for law enforcement, legal fees, and jail time. Explain how the effects of substance abuse are not limited to the individual. When a person abuses substances, it sets off a ripple effect. The negative effect on the abuser spread to those around him or her and beyond. Although costs of the individual abuser are primary focus of substance abuse prevention and intervention, the potential effects on others is far-reaching. For example, female substance abusers are more likely to give birth to children with disabilities and addiction. These families incur higher child care and education costs. Unintended injuries from alcohol abuse alone are the leading cause of death in the United States. It also remains the leading cause of death for teenagers. In addition, the risk for physical, emotional, and sexual abuse are much higher among substance abusers. Injection drug use poses an additional hazard. Of course, any type of illicit drug use that carries the risk of HIV infection or contracting HIV or hepatitis B. These infections can then be passed to others through sexual contact or the sharing of needles. The message to all of us is that because of the financial and social costs involved, we have a responsibility to discourage substance abuse users. And of course, the recent estimates from the Office of National Drug Control Policy cited that it costs about $193 billion per year. So in these few paragraphs, it's basically just talking about how when someone chooses to use alcohol, tobaccos, or other drugs and abuses them, it's going to create that effect where it's not only going to affect them, but many other people around them, and it's going to affect the cost of things that we have. So we want to always encourage people to stay away from these drugs. So your assignment for this will be picking a stance in a Google Doc about alcohol and drug use, which you'll see it on the content in the assignment page, to complete an essay about how drug users affect many other people around them.